Our fifth inductee has been mentioned several times this evening, and you can read in your program some of what is about to be said about him. But here to present Danny Young into the Cannon Courier 2019 Hall of Fame class is Miss Mickey Vincent.
Last year, I nominated somebody and I'm short. Yes, I am. I said that last year too. Well, I've already lost my thought, but anyway, thank you to the Courier for having this.
Estel Parker.
Yes, Estel Parker, but I wasn't gonna, but anyway, Estel Parker got inducted last year, and I introduced him. And every speaker tonight has taken me in some other direction. Mr. Fred Curtis, you being a pastor, I went to church one time, and the preacher got up there and he said, okay, I had this as my sermon, but God told me to do this. So I'm going to go a couple of different ways. Jamie King, Evan, you got thrown out at first one time. You remember what I told you, Jamie? When you said what you said? You got that? And Mr. Davis, talking about the baseball field. I was right there when we were writing letters to the governor, to Frank Buck. Everybody, please give us Tennessee, give us a grant, and we'll come up with some money. And Estel Parker was one of those people, and I don't see anybody else here, but I was there when that field was built. And it was built to say, hey, high school, let us have a baseball team. Jenny, you talked about passion. Spent 23 years at the baseball field, and that was my passion. I'm just a frustrated little old woman that really wants to play baseball, I guess. But then I got Meniere's disease, and I can't even coach, so anyway. And every one of you have tried to claim my boy tonight. Every one of you. And I think the first time that I ever knew Danny, or even who Danny was, there was this lady running around at the baseball field, where is Danny and where is Michael? And I told them not to get out of my sight. Where are they? I told them, get back over here. Miss Annie Cox. Who didn't love Miss Annie? Who didn't love Miss Annie? Anyway. I will try now to say what I was going to say, and I would like Danny to come up here because I'm going to be talking to him some. Well, I'm not finished. He knows me. I have to have Danny to stand up here and protect me. So, you know, the next thing I know, there's this little kid down on the t-ball field, Danny Young. I said, oh, that's who that lady thought was down in the river playing. And he probably was, but anyway. comes up through the league to 9 and 10, and he starts throwing on the mound, and I'm in the scores booth. I'm either coaching a team, I'm in the scores booth, announcing, or maybe rotting out the toilet or something like that. But anyway, Danny is throwing, and by the time he comes up to the 11 and 12-year-old league, he has outgrown everybody. I mean, just with, and he's just down there playing in the dirt and having such a good time. Then he really starts pitching some serious baseball, even though he's only 10, 11 years old. I mean, this kid pitching some serious left-handed baseball. And I have a left-handed son, and I'm coaching, and I thought, no, let me watch him. I don't know how to throw the ball left-handed. So anyway, Danny, I watched you a little bit to teach my son how to play. And by the time Danny was 12 years old, he was stepping off the mound, and I'm up in the booth looking down at this batter that has Danny Young coming down his throat with this left-handed fastball. And that poor kid at the plate, I really felt sorry for him, because Danny was so long-legged and long-armed, he was halfway down there already. So, anyway, I'm also doing the stats, and here is Danny Young climbing the ladder in the batting average. Kid, you know, he's way up here in the batting average, and he's striking out, 10, 12 batters a game. Who is he? So he's a couple years older than my son. I think you were 15, and my son was, when he got 13, he had to go over to this Mr. Davis, the Babe Ruth League. So Derek says, Mom, I don't know if I can face Danny Young or not. And he was talking about like that, and I think I saw a tear or two in his brown eyes. So I was always telling him, I could read it in your brown eyes, and I could read it. He was afraid. He was scared. And he wasn't like Danny. He didn't grow much. At that time, he did grow a little taller. He did get up to 6 foot, but anyway, that was a long time after. So I said, well, son, let's talk about it, and we did. And I said, well, you've got 2 choices. You either face Danny Young, or you don't play. And then I said, oh, you might be on Danny Young's team. He said, oh, no, I'd have to face him in batting practice then. And you know how it gets in batting practice, Mom. Batting practice just gets wild. It gets wild. So that was, my son did play, and I was proud of him. And I was on the 9 and 10-year-old, the Scoops Tiller side in the batting, in the booth, and I heard over here announcing that Derek was up to bat, and I knew Danny was pitching. So here I run back and forth, just to make sure Danny didn't kill my little boy. And he didn't. He walked him, he said, but let me tell you, I told Derek that you said you walked him, and he said, oh no, not that time. He got me right under the left shoulder. So anyway, I have watched Danny grow up and come to the baseball field and just having fun. Then Danny goes to high school and becomes, our real life, what we have worked field baseball player. And of course then Derek catches up with Danny again. And Derek comes home one day and he said, "Mom, Coach put me in relief of Danny today." Now remember, they're both left-handed pitchers. And I said, "Oh, well, how did that go?" He said, "Well, it went pretty good. Danny had been throwing his 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and I went in and threw my 30-mile-an-hour curve, and they were screwing themselves in the ground." So, my son, as well as myself, has always been an admirer of Danny. He was so proud to walk in the shadow of Danny Young. And so here we go on as Danny gets on up into the league. And, you know, I hear there might be some special people at the ballpark, even though I'm there most of the time. And here I am, and there are people down there with these things called radar guns. And they're shooting them at Danny Young. And we wonder, what's going on there? And Daddy, you just don't know what thrill it was for me to see the Major League Scouts looking at Danny Young when he was a senior in high school. And I'm so pleased to, and one more thing. A few friends and I, let's see, Lindell Barrett, Mitch Wilson, and Esther Parker, and, wait a minute, Wade McMakin. I knew I got something. Wade said to tell you. Wade is coaching tonight. He had a doubleheader coaching the softball team, and he could not be here. And of course, those of us who have a passion, Jamie, we are there where we're supposed to be, where the Lord puts us, and we're supposed to be there. So there's where he is.
I told him to do it.
And he said to tell you how much he appreciates all the help you gave him. Wade called Danny up and said, "Will you come and help us?" And he did. And he said to tell Danny, "I will be forever grateful, Danny." So that's from Wade. And anyway, I'm through now. Danny Young.
I want to thank you, Ken Coyer and the committee. Danny, you got me fired up, man. You're competitive. I always wanted to look after you and be like you and Bill Sharp. Not by much, because you left there. I love Woodbury. I wore this jersey today not because of me being a Cub. My cousin survived cancer. His name is Devin Cairo. Most of you know Bill Cairo. Used to work at Smith's down here as a produce man. And his son graduated 4 days ago. So he loaned me this, and I told him that I was going to wear it in his honor. So that's the reason why I have this. I don't even have my own jersey. I'm like you. I'm an athlete, and I'm a competitor. But my whole body just ain't letting me compete. So I wanted to talk about first, I would like to thank God, our Lord and Savior, for letting me live to see another day. Second, I want to thank my beautiful wife, Sarah, for marrying me, because God knows and Lord knows I'm a handful. Thanks to our men and women in service in the armed forces all over the world. I'm very partial to them because my father served 3 tours in Vietnam. My parents for bringing me into this world, and my father always telling me he could take me up. And he was not a small man. My dear grandmother, Mom/grandmother Annie Cox, that I love dearly. She guided me with light and kept me going when I wanted to give up. Because this pro baseball thing just wasn't fair. Wade McMackins are asking me to help him, and it helped me through the tough times as far as baseball goes because I couldn't watch it, because I was a competitor. And I knew that 90% of the guys, when you get out of the game, you think you're better than they are. And I want to also thank you, Glenn Wood, Jamie King, Justin Davis, Abby Sissom, and yet to come, Darlene Taylor Knowles. It is an honor for me to be put in to this class of inductees because my grandmother is there with us. And I thank you, and I appreciate all you kids here. I enjoyed hearing about and coming and talking to you before your tournament. Guys, there's nothing to it but to do it. Everybody puts their pants on just like you do. I'm living proof of that. But you have to keep going and let nobody tell you no, unless it's a doctor. Because he's going to be the one to tell you, slow down, take a break. But you know yourself, 5 surgeries later, I still tried, but my whole body just wasn't letting me. And I did get signed by the St. Louis Cardinals to go to AAA, but I was such a liability that they would not let me play. So I was at once a Cardinal. I did meet a lot of famous people. You know, I'm not going to name drop, but I did play and sit beside Kerry Wood only because my last name was Young. But that was one of the greatest times I had in my life because he was just like all of us, a normal person. The only thing changed about he and I was our tax brackets. When you have to pay taxes, it's a little more different. And I started my life of sports right here in this hayfield under us. Hauling hay for Bill Smith for a couple of dollars to get into the swimming pool. Fish these very rivers from Mr. Mason's house up by the Church of Christ, past the Church of Christ, and Water Street Church of Christ there, you know, where it runs behind, goes down to the sandbar, it leads down here past to Readable Sawmill. But I had a partner in crime, and his name was Scott Cantrell. And Scott Cantrell was my catcher. And he was one of the toughest guys that I ever seen. And he had a scholarship to do what he needed to do as a catcher, like I was telling you. Catching isn't easy, but it's an easy way to get a scholarship to get to the professional leagues. But you have to be determined. This man is one of the most determined guys I've ever seen in my life. Now, if I had his brain and he had my talent, we would be David Price. Right? So, in closing, like I said, I went from Thomas Mason's house to the Reedyville Dam. I was always playing some sport, pee-wee football with Brother Zumbro, which I know a lot of you know and may have forgotten. But Brother Zumbro started me out in athletics, and he was not somebody that you wanted to play with. He would run me until I told him, Mr. Zumbro, I got to throw. He said, well, you go right over there behind the bleachers there, and you throw up and come back, and we're gonna run some more. I always played some kind of sport with the greatest admiration of being a pro basketball player. But I just wasn't 6'6", and I weighed 165 pounds wet at the time. So with Teddy Taylor, I played junior pro basketball, T-ball with Gerald Gannon and Don Martin. I went to Westside Elementary School where I played basketball starting at the 4th grade with Mr. Basham, and was on my way. In case you didn't understand that, I was on my way, but he put a hold to that, told me, you have to stay after and shoot, because you're always telling me that you could do better than that. I know you can do better than that. You're just playing around. You're just playing, and go shoot free throws. Free throws win ball games. I didn't understand what he was saying, but he made me do it because my grandmother was there grading papers late into the evening. And sometimes I would see Mr. King down there, and he would be like, son, what are you doing? We'll go down here and shoot. And he did, and I learned a lot from him, man. I learned a lot from him. Those were the days. But it was special. The treatment that I got wasn't special treatment. It wasn't special treatment, but it was special treatment because they cared about me. Going to summer classes with Mrs. Bryant, going to swimming classes with Mrs. Bryant to teach me CPR, and Mrs. Player, and the world went around in a circle because I married her daughter. I learned CPR, and I was a certified lifeguard. Playing baseball, that I just never forget playing in tube socks and Chuck Taylors. As Mickey said, I was a clown and a runaround. But I would stay there until 5. We would swim, me and Scott Kensher would swim until 5, taking our uniforms so that we didn't need to go home. I watched Bill Sharp, he had a big impression on me, thinking, man, I wish I could throw the ball that hard. I wish I could hit the ball that far. He was special. Thanks to Miss Mickey Vincent, Doug Burkhalter, and especially for showing me the way to be stringent enough and work hard enough to get drafted. Because I didn't really think about that until the scout showed up and asked me, Sean, do you want to play baseball the rest of your life? I never knew. I just went out there and threw the ball as hard as I could, as many times as I could, as long as I could. And it wasn't because there was a lack of coaching. I was left-handed. I was taught how to hit right-handed because nobody could teach me how to hit left-handed. But I dealt with it. But until I got to AA, and they started throwing at my left arm, I had to change my program. So I learned how to hit left-handed from Sandy Alomar Jr., one of the greats. Sandy Alomar Sr. taught me to hit, and he would bring his son and show me how to hit, switch hit, so I wouldn't get hit in my arm. Because they saw something in me that I didn't see. They never told me that I was throwing 97. They never told me that my breaking ball was 90 miles an hour. They never told me that my slider was 93. I didn't really care. I was trying to figure out how to pick off a guy at first base being left-handed. And if you know what that is, it's step over and throw. I truly didn't know how to do that. And I was in professional baseball. So, as far as that goes, I want to thank Terry Gannon for making me run extra in practice for being lazy. I want to thank Miss Lewis and Cynthia Denny Barnes for giving me the fortitude to be up here. In her forensics class, I had public speaking, and she always taught me, son, look up, son, look up. And Miss Lewis taught me how to multiply, calculate, and she taught me trigonometry, and she would make me stay after. And go tell Coach Gannon, by the way of Miss Helton, your basketball player is going to stay with me because he's going to learn something. And I think they saw in me something that I didn't see in myself. But I do appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. Coach Harris, Robert Pitts, and everyone that gave me the encouragement and the encouraging words along the way. Teresa Wilson Tate for sitting me down, teaching me to take the hard road. Son, take the hard road. She kept me out of basketball practice. And if you look, if you're ever in Westside, you'll see, I think it's 1982 or 83. I'm not in the photo because I was studying and I was doing history and math. And if anybody knew Miss Wilson, she was an athlete also. So she saw something in me that I didn't see. And again, lastly, I want to thank you, to our men and women in the armed forces, law enforcement, EMTs, and our teachers, because they are the real heroes. So I leave you with this. I started in this hayfield, and somehow God saw fit for me to be back in this hayfield and to end in this hayfield. The circle of life. Glory be to God, Lord and Savior. Thank you to everybody.